Oh, hello.
We were
Welcome.
having fun.
Welcome back.
Oh, I thought this was the after party.
This is is
Oh.
this not the after party?
Oh,
We've
we're in
got
the
to do
wrong.
some work.
Yeah, I came in the wrong room.
Hey, welcome back everybody to our Swamp-A-Thon today. And I'm just going to tell you, I feel refreshed and ready to go.
Me too.
And you can read between the lines there if you want.
Well, let's rock and roll.
Let's rock and
Do
roll.
what you got to do.
Hey, absolutely. And thank you for listening to us today. Just real quick, right off the bat, if you want to call and give money to donate to the Swamp-A-Thon, 256-978-5151. The silent auction is going gangbusters with things like an autographed bass from David Hood, an autographed guitar from Jason Isbell, the Lake House. That's the link to that is on the Muscle Shoals Sound Facebook page.
Yep. That's a lake party. 4 nights.
Can I just tell you though, before we get going, because this has been so much fun for me.
I'm so glad, Greg.
This has just been the coolest thing.
Well,
Oh.
You've always been such a supporter of our music that when we decided to do this, you were the first person that came to mind.
And
if you'll recall, I groveled in the email. I told Debbie.
She did grovel a bit.
I groveled. Yes,
she did.
I did.
And she didn't have to. That's the ironic thing.
I went so far as to say, if you can't do it, we'll still like you, just not as much.
That's right. That's exactly what she said in the email. That's exactly what she said in the email.
It worked. So
oh my God.
Works.
Well, I know we're going to have a lot of music coming up here, and I just want to say again, so I don't forget it, is I know you could have gotten anybody to sit in this chair, and thank you for letting me do this.
I could have.
You could have.
I could have had Mick Jagger.
You could have had Mick Jagger. I'm sure he'd have been here.
I'll just say the word.
Absolutely. We want to remind you of some of the very important people that have helped us out here, the Platinum sponsor. Lions HR, a professional employer organization headquartered in Florence. Lions HR excels in providing HR compliance assistance to their clients.
And Bill's a songwriter.
That's right. You told me that. That's absolutely great.
He's written with several of the songwriters around town, so he's going to be like in the studio recording probably soon.
And we may see him at some point.
Yeah, we're hoping he'll
We're
drop by so he can say hi to everybody.
So if you need HR help with Lions HR, a business has access to a dedicated HR manager, all in one HRIS system, HR policy assistance, employee handbook. So let Lions HR take care of the administrative HR burdens of running a business. You can find Lions HR on the website, lionshr.com. And again, that is spelled LYONSHR.com.
What do we got there, Chase?
Oh, here we go.
Now this is the Jason guitar.
It, right there.
All right.
I got it right there. Is that good? There you go.
Wouldn't you like to see this in your collection?
Here you go. This is I'm going to hold it up and you talk about it.
All right. This is the Fender Telecaster Jason Isbell model that Jason donated to us because he loves him some Muscle Shoals. And he's going to autograph this, and if the price is right, he's going to personalize it to the person who's the high bidder. And his manager was here earlier, and she's promising all manner of great things if we get a big enough price on it. So thank you, Jason, for supporting us. And
again, you can silent auction. You can still bid on this on the silent auction. The link to do that is on the Muscle Shoals Sound Facebook page. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Gosh,
so got everybody's spinner.
Please don't, Lord, don't let me drop that. Okay, thank you. All right,
so
Patterson.
We've got
I know.
my two favorite musicians in the room.
I'll let you intro these guys.
And Patterson Hood's getting ready to rock this room like you do.
Yeah, we'll get on. We'll check that out. Patterson has done a lot of. Patterson, before you get going, while we get, what was it like to just? How did all the just the shows you did at home feel?
Oh, it's just so good to be back home. I've been homesick. You know, I live cross country right now, and the whole pandemic lockdown, not being able to visit my family for over a year. It's terrible, you know. So it's so good to be back home and great to be in this incredible place.
Well, we're lucky to have you here. It's awesome. I know a lot of folks are looking forward to this, what we're about to see here.
Hello. All right.
Rock on, Patterson.
Hello. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Can I get a hair teeny bit more of that? Okay, does that work? Check 1 2. Hey, Will.
Hey, man.
Glad you're gonna hang out with me. Put this way out our little line of sight.
There you go.
Yeah.
Line of sight.
We can line it up. All right. Been home, not touring and not doing stuff, but so I've written a few. So I'm gonna start things off with a really new song that I wrote back in December, and it's called "Shake and Pine." So you've gone astray in a New York minute, nothing left to say. A waste to spin it, you've just gone too far. Unsafe within it, all spun out and swept away. You were here one day, gone by sunset, you set out that way. Lest we soon forget, blood on the sawdust, light coming in from a broken window pane. I shake and pine, didn't really mean to do me wrong this time. Make it up as we go along to fake and find reason and a rhyme, the strength to carry on. Seems the more you know, the less you like it till you wait to go. Strike out on our own, movement becomes you until you become so removed by the hands you show. Seems the more I know, the less I have the answers to these things I sow. They eat me like cancer till there's nothing left for you to grab a hold of, till I spiral out of control. Shake and pine for a way out of this hell besides a life of crime. Standing before judgment, it'd be so sublime to step out of the shadows and walk towards the sun. Shake and pine, look aside for an answer to this nursery rhyme. Like a ballet dancer, you leap in the air, lost in the footlights, lost in the footlights in the fog. Lost in the footlights in the fog. Got the hang, all you're missing, Alabama claw. Above the bangs and lashes, and we saw it all. Reaching for the stars, but only catching dust. Thank you. Thank you, Will. When I was when I was about 14 years old, I cut grass and saved up money to buy my first guitar, and it was an Alvarez acoustic. It was $128 from St. Louis Music, and because I think Dad had a deal with them, so I got it like 40% off or something, and so I got that. And then my first electric, which I still have, was an Ibanez Les Paul copy from it was what they called one of the lawsuit guitars, because they made them for a year and then Gibson sued them and they quit making them, or they started putting a little cutaway on them or something. But and Will was always sweet to me and invited me over one day and just to show me some guitar stuff. And you taught me how to do this. And just the other day, I wrote probably the 5th song that I've written through the years with that.
That's great.
So
You had a broken leg the night you came over. Your foot was in a cast.
oh, it wasn't. Well, I don't know.
Was it? You had something that was in a cast, I thought.
Oh, there's no telling. Probably fell off something. This is a song that hopefully we're going to record this summer with my band, but it's a pretty new one. It's called "Forged in Hell and Heaven Sent." It's been so long since I've seen you, and I'm not sure where to start. Was it yesterday or decades when we tore this town apart? We'd start drinking in the afternoon and close the bars all down. It's been too long since I've seen you. I'm so glad you're back in town. We went through so much together, you and me and all the gang. All those crazy death defiers, chasing storms and racing trains. It's a wonder there's a single one of us still left alive to feast on best forgotten memories, toast the ones up in the sky. It's been so long since I've seen you, and I know you've been through hell, and it's taken its toll on you, and its lesson served us well. But I still can see the sparkle in your eyes and in your smile. Glad you're back in town this evening. Have a seat and stay a while. So you had a little daughter, I can see she's almost grown, and I guess she's had to grow up pretty fast. Time went racing past us, I got 2 kids of my own, and I'm trying to make this time we're in last. Not let the minutes all slip past us. Answers to questions that never ask us. The things that kept us youngest came pounding down upon us. The whole world slipped out from under us. It's been too long since I've seen you, and I wonder where it went. A whole decade before and 2 years since your accident. It's a miracle you're walking, even if a little bent. Things the minutes we're together, forged in hell and heaven sent. Forged in hell and heaven sent. Forged in hell and heaven sent. He's gonna hang?
I'm at your disposal.
And let's just
I
keep
think you
playing.
got the green light, Patterson.
That'd be wonderful to do a couple more then. The Truckers made a record in Memphis a few years ago at Jerry Phillips's place at the Sam Phillips recording and service, and it was amazing. We got to hang out with Jerry for a week, and it was just a wonderful time. And he took me up to Sam's office, which still has his suits in the closet, and we had a toast, and it was a wonderful thing. And of course, I've always had a love affair with Memphis, and I wrote this song knowing that we were going to be going there to record because it didn't seem like it'd be right to not have a Memphis song, and this ended up on our album, The Unraveling. So. Strong as the day was long, Rosemary would sing along, wheels rolling steady down the way. The ashtray it would fill up twice, the windows down felt nice, as smiles dressed the twilight of the day. Driving up by 55, Mississippi zooming by, salvation in the cool November air. I'm searching for the mixture that could paint a pretty picture of the wind blowing through Rosemary's hair. Daddy always said she was the one who made the light the stars could wish upon. Rosemary with the Bible and a gun. I was more than smitten by the words as they were written and the opportunities awaiting there. Our time was etched in promise till the truth came down upon us, descending all our hopes into despair. We took our leave and headed north, a tank at $20 worth. Highway called her name like sirens call. 25 and on the run, William Eggleston. Parking lots of neon in the fall. Her daddy's eyes drew fire into the sun. Asked me why I thought I was the one whose eyes could be deemed worthy to ever cast upon Rosemary with a Bible and a gun. One kiss could charm the dark to light the dawn. This roller coaster highway can't compare to the fun of Memphis saturated in decay and on the run. Rosemary with a Bible and a gun. the cemetery fence. Prayed to God for forgiveness. For surely this was punishment for sin. Put her in the family garden so you could hear her heart a breaking miles away. All the men pitched in and bought a marble angel to mark the piece of land where little Bonnie lay. Grandma said she would keep her in the morning so her mama could sleep a bit and do the chores and such. She'd tell her stories about little girls and magic powers that could never ever let a pretty angel hurt. Mama's always been a beauty. She's still beautiful to this very day. They say Bonnie's crystal eyes put the stars to shame. Maybe heaven needed Bonnie's face. Grandma said she would meet me in the morning, a snoring angel who never would complain. She'd read her stories about little girls and princesses whose daddies don't feel punished for what heaven takes away. Little Bonnie never married. Little Bonnie never even made it far. But I grew up in her presence, even though she was gone before I was born. Even though she was gone before I was born. Thank you, Will McFarland. I'm Patterson Hood. Thank y'all so much. Make sure you send those donations in. Just keep this legendary place running.
Wow, thank you, Patterson. Before we're going to get one thing that's going to happen here is we're going to have all the other musicians come out. Everybody's going to play, but take an opportunity here. Patterson, can you give us just a thumbnail sketch on what you guys have planned, what you have planned down the road, and what the band has planned down the road?
Yeah. Well,
Because if I don't ask you that, Ricky and Missy are going to get really mad at me.
well, the good news is there's plans. So,
There's plans. Patterson says.
That's the good news. Is there are. The good news is there are plans now, and because for a year, any plans there were getting taken away instead
Right.
of the things were getting marked off of the calendar instead of put on. But yeah, I'm going to go in June. I'm playing a handful of solo shows, including Nashville and Chicago and Waverly, Alabama, and Atlanta, Asheville. I don't remember.
Princess Theater in Decatur.
Princess Theater in Decatur,
Front row
which
balcony.
is the closest to here, yeah.
Yeah.
And in St. Augustine and Orlando. So I'm excited about that. And then the band's going to do a little bit of recording in July. And then the Truckers are playing 2 dates at the end of July, and then we're playing the last weekend in August, leaving for like a tour. And we're going to do like 2 little 3-week runs in the fall.
Wow.
So very excited about that.
That's tremendous. I know a lot of folks are happy to hear that.
Yeah. Musicians have missed us, and we've missed musicians. It's like John Paul said the other night. We've all got some catching up to do.
We got a lot of catching up to do, and it's just good to be in a room with people,
Right.
living, breathing people that Yeah. So
You have, I think you have a a unique perspective and having grown up with this environment around you. As where we are right now, where you have so many people weighing in to help this place, give us your perspective on where this place is. And I mean, you're a smart guy. You've done New York Times op-eds. You know, you're well read, I know, and so give us your just overhead view of this place and where it is in history.
You know, the Shoals had this like legendary, amazing history. You know, in the '60s and '70s, and around the time I came of age, I graduated from high school in '82. Basically, the week I graduated from high school is when they shut down the Ford plant. It's when they made the announcement that they were and so for years, you know, we were just so economically depressed here, and of course that also corresponded with the time when, you know, musical trends were changing and the studio business kind of collapsed around here mostly, and so many moved off, and the diehards who stayed, like my dad, you know, it wasn't an easy time to be trying to do something here. And so to come to town now and see the way it is now is just I mean, it's amazing. You know, they've saved this place and restored it. It's beautiful, and it you walk in the door and you can still feel the vibe from, you know, from 1969 and 1972 and all those years that all this amazing stuff was happening in here, and new things are happening here. So it's not all just living in the past. You know, it's not just a museum. You can actually record in here, and I got to record in here back right before the shutdown, working on a project with my dad and Spooner and Luther and Cody Dickinson from the North Mississippi All-Stars, and a project we started with their dad, Jim Dickinson, 15 years ago before he got sick and passed away. So and actually one of my projects this summer is to mix and finish that record so that we can try to shop it and put it out hopefully in the next year. So.
I know I've heard you talk about that before, and I know there's a lot of people looking forward to that. And this is one, if everybody will just indulge me for one question. Like, I know I mentioned Patterson's a well-read guy. I know you've written some short stories. So do you have it in your schedule that there's more writing on paper projects down the road for you? Because I've heard people go, this guy's got a novel in him, or this guy's got short stories, and the stuff that I've read that you've written is really good, and I think you're one of those guys that, like, if he's got time to write a book, that would be something.
When everything started shutting down last year, one of the first things I thought is like, okay, I'll write my book now, because we're going to be off for probably 3 months or something, you know, and I'll get a good start on it, and then about 2 weeks into it, when the reality started sinking in that no, actually we're going to be off for a really long time, and oh, holy cow, you know, how are we going to, you know, keep the house and keep this thing afloat? And I kind of, that part of my brain that would be creative towards something like that was kind of paralyzed. So I kind of wasted what could have been a good year for that.
I've heard that before with other people, though.
Yeah. I didn't really write many songs until towards the end of it, when things were starting to already look up, and then the floodgates opened, and actually one of the songs I did a minute ago I wrote then, you know. So I still would like to. I've got ambitions about it, but we just see. Right now I got to get to work.
Yeah, gotcha.
With my day job, I can't quit my day job right now.
Got it. Understand. Judy, anything else?
You know, David and I are pretty proud of Pat.
Oh, shucks.
Well, I want to tell you, one of my proudest nights was when I came to see you at the Clinton Library. That was such a powerful show. When it happened as a result of your op-ed, right?
Yeah, and he allegedly Bill Clinton read it and said, we got to get this guy to come talk at the library. So I did that, and it was an amazing experience, and it meant the world to me that you drove up for it.
Yeah, and I drove all the way to Arkansas.
That's a long way.
I love you, Pat.
You better. You obviously do.
And Lisa Tell from State Tourism was there, and but that was it was powerful. There was a lot of power in that room. It just felt, and it was you just doing what you do. But your stories and the songs and the timeliness of it all you know, with all the racial tension and the
Right.
shooting. So it was
Unfortunately,
it
keeps
was a
being
great
timely.
message at a great time to deliver it.
Well, thanks. You know, the my other than playing with the band, the other thing I do a lot of is when I go out and play by myself, and I have tried to incorporate more of the storytelling and just kind of interacting with the audience, because there's only so much of that that can be done in the context of the rock show with the band, because it's big and loud and it's
Yeah,
fun.
right.
It doesn't need to get bogged down by me running my mouth. You know, Cooley would be like making faces and stuff and noises, and it would just get ugly. So yeah, well, if you're lucky. But I didn't say it. My dad did. But so when I'm by myself, I don't have anybody to do that. So I'll do a little more of that kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's great. And the night you and David were in Seattle,
That was special.
that was amazing. And David, yeah,
Yeah, that was an amazing night,
and you recruited a drummer from somewhere,
who was
kitchen or
great,
somewhere.
who came in and just killed it. And
Marlon Green was there.
Yeah.
Marlon Green was there.
Yeah, Marlon Green was there. But that night, you had David bantering on stage. David doesn't banter on stage, so I got just such a kick out of that. It was and the audience got such a kick out of it.
Well, you know, they had already legalized weed in Washington by then. So.
Oh, really? I didn't notice. I didn't notice that. I mean, I heard about it. You know. But anyway, but
Yeah,
that
it's like
was.
I can't take him anywhere.
But you know, it's always special for all of us when you and David play together, and
Yeah, it
particularly
is.
for
It
me.
is for me too.
And today I watched y'all play together without crying, so I get points. I get points today.
Yeah, I managed not to cry too. So
Yeah.
we'll see if I can make it through the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's all good. Just welcome home, Pat.
Well, thank you so
Welcome home.
much.
Thank
and
you.
I love you.
I love you.
And everybody out there, man. Write them checks.
That's
Write
right.
them checks.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Or push the button.
Yeah.
PayPal or Apple Pay or whatever.
Yeah, or drop it out of an airplane. I
That's
don't care,
right, whatever
just
it
do
takes.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
thank
Thank
you.
you, Pat.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thanks for all you're doing. so much, man.
Means a lot. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I got to talk about, you know, stuff like this doesn't just happen.
No.
We
Yeah,
didn't just
you've got
walk
some.
in today and
That's right.
been planning this for months, and the people doing the work, it was actually Anna Megan Hyde, who's our manager, studio manager. It was her idea to have this, and Chase, who's one of our tour guides, named it the Swamp-A-Thon.
Swamp-A-Thon.
Yeah, so there was a lot of teamwork involved. Of course, Terrell Benton is just such a great tour guide and music historian, and he had so many great ideas around how we would pull this off. And Tony Brooks, who is one of our tour guides, her husband's on the board, and they've been out raising money. And Tony's such a great positive promoter of things. So it's been great having Kenneth and Tony helping us. And of course, our executive director, Debbie Wilson, who's the brains behind the operation and keeps us all heading in the right direction. So we have the best staff in the world, and I want to thank them for all the hard work they put into making this happen.
It's been great, and one of the things that's happening is we're wrangling musicians at this point for what they're going to do at the end for us. But so we'll give that heads up for whatever needs to happen downstairs. But also, Judy, I mean, they would probably be kicking that back to you too, because you played a real big role in driving this as well.
I didn't do a thing.
Sang.
I stayed home and thought
No,
about my
always
favorite
take
colors.
credit. Always,
Yeah.
always take
Oh
credit.
yeah, I did this.
There you go. There you go. This was all Judy Hood and no
it's
one
all
else, ladies
about
and gentlemen.
me. Nobody else involved.
Always take credit.
Yeah, it's always.
Oh God.
But I'll tell you one thing: if you will bid on the Swamp-A wedding,
Yeah.
these people, if you, I'll throw you a wedding now.
There you go. I'm telling you. There you go. And that is on the
You will
silent auction.
Your wedding will be blessed by Swamp-A Judy Hood.
And that link is on the Muscle
Yeah.
Shoals Sound Facebook page. So you
Yeah.
can go bid on that
So
right
if
now.
if you've got the itch to get hitched,
I love that.
we can hook you right up.
And also 256-978-5151. Do we want to do sponsors real quick?
Let's talk about Bill Lyons
'Cause this-
and HR.
Looking at the
Lyons
time here,
HR.
this might be the last time.
Yeah, we're getting close.
This might be the last time we
the end
we
here.
talk about Mr. Lyons. So,
Well,
and
not the last time,
not the last
ever.
time ever
Maybe on this show.
on this show, maybe. But let me tell you what, platinum sponsor, that's big.
That
And
was
so They
huge.
stepped up huge.
And when you're on nonprofits, Those are
Yeah.
your angels.
Absolutely.
Those are your angels.
Lions HR is a professional employer organization headquartered in Florence, Alabama, with operation centers throughout the Southeast. So, do you need an HR business partner? Lions HR has trusted experts in payroll services, employee benefits, risk management, HR compliance, and employee retention strategies. Lions HR works with a variety of industries, including but not limited to manufacturing, property management, logistics, medical and dental practices, assisted livings, franchise businesses, professional, retail, and wholesale, and more. Let Lions HR take care of the administrative HR burden so you can focus your attention on taking care of the customers and growing your business. So here's a number. I'm going to give it to you twice. 888-212-3687, extension 220. 888-212-3687, extension 220, or all that's on the website, lionshr.com, and that is LYONSHR.com. Also, Bank Independent, our hometown bank and supporter of all things Muscle Shoals Sound. City of Sheffield, where Muscle Shoals Sound lives. The city of Muscle Shoals, the town that is known around the world as the hit recording capital of the world. The Muscle Shoals National Heritage area. And that was great listening to Carrie today.
Yes,
That was really compelling and interesting.
That organization does so many wonderful things, not just for our community, but really for our region.
Absolutely.
And every time we have an event, she steps up.
Absolutely.
Her team steps up. And so it's like they don't just say that they're honoring the legacy of our community and our music. They do it. And we
Yeah.
appreciate it.
And again, let me give you that again, because I know we threw, when she was here, we threw a lot of information at you. But if you Google Muscle Shoals National Heritage Area, the information will pop up. Absolutely. Florence Lauderdale Tourism, Bill Alexander, State Farm Agent, Steve Pierce, State Farm Agent, Marriott Shoals Hotel and Spa, Champy's Chicken, Southern Package Store, and Kenneth and Tony Brooks.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you, because this couldn't have happened. And we're tallying up numbers, and so we may have a number for you by the end of this. We've got people still calling in, so.
Absolutely. And again, I think it's a good time to thank the musicians.
Yes.
Because, you know, they've given up
Oh, yeah, we have
they've given up-
musicians.
yeah, they've given up their Saturdays
yeah,
for
yeah.
this.
Yeah, they have. And it's a
Absolutely,
long
they have.
day. You know, we appreciate
It
it.
is a long day.
We
And,
appreciate it,
uh,
every one of you.
There's only a couple of them sitting there right there. There are Will and David, but there's
I
a
see
bunch
Spooner
downstairs.
and Kelvin over there.
Yeah, Spooner and Kelvin. There you go.
Uh,
Gary Baker was here.
Gary
Jerry
Baker,
Phillips.
Justin,
Also, I want to
Hogan.
thank Emerald City Productions, who set up our tech setup here. So thank you guys for working really hard and have been on your feet since 10 o'clock this morning.
yeah.
So y'all have done great.
And they spent a lot of time yesterday setting this up.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we appreciate it. Certainly wouldn't want me in charge of the technical
No,
piece of this.
there's a reason I talk for a living.
That would not
And that's all.
have worked very well. So thank y'all so much, and to our board members for supporting the idea to have this event.
Absolutely. And the
and-
live auction is open tomorrow till 1 p.m., Judy, is that right?
Yeah. It started at 1 today, and it goes for 24 hours.
Yeah, 1 p.m.
And
tomorrow.
so you can bid on things until 1 p.m. tomorrow, and then we'll close it down and send you your stuff.
Very good. So do we want to bring musicians in?
I think we do
Guys, y'all ready?
already.
Absolutely.
There's Kelvin Holly. He told me I couldn't interview him, so I'm going to. Kelvin, Gina told me you wouldn't talk. Kelvin, tell him about the projects you're working on right now. Kelvin's like, Kelvin was the Little Richard Band, and
Right.
and then he was the Peggy Young Band and Neil Young, working with Neil Young. So just tell him how great you are, Kelvin.
Oh, I'm just incredible.
This is like the big time, only smaller.
It is the big time, only smaller. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, this is the big time. This is not smaller today. So, I mean, to be in this room where all this great stuff was cut that I grew up listening to, it was like, wow. I mean, and here I am. You know,
Where did you grow up, Kelvin?
in the United States Air Force. So we
Well,
lived
there
all
we go.
over. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
And you're working on a project now with
Yeah, I'm a fellow that came through Muscle Shoals last year to cut some stuff over at Fame, and I guess he liked what I played, and I ended up flying back and forth to Los Angeles during COVID. You know, I was taking a big risk doing that, but you got to work, you know. So I was just a good boy and kept my hands clean and
Whatever,
worked.
Kelvin. I've been knowing you a long time.
I
Kelvin.
know that.
But I think that's an exciting project, and for somebody, you know,
Yeah, it
from
is.
Beverly
It's
Hills
been
to come
great.
here and want
Yeah.
to fly our musicians.
Yeah,
out
I mean, he was in
there.
Beverly Hills, and then to actually move from Beverly Hills to Nitrate City,
Yeah.
that's
Now
that's
that's
a
like
big one right
Green
there, yeah.
Acres.
absolutely in reverse.
Yeah.
Anyway, or Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But Kelvin plays a lot around town, and he's always the first one to step up
Yeah,
when
I've
a musician
gotta
or
do
anybody
it,
needs
man.
help. And he's
Gotta
got
help out
two
my brothers.
grandbabies he's raising, kind of,
Yeah.
helping to raise.
Yeah,
Cute little fellas.
they are.
So, but we appreciate all you do, Kelvin.
Not a problem.
I
Appreciate
give
all
I
you do,
give you a
too.
hard time, but you know I
No,
love you.
you know, it's always good fun. So,
But we
anyway,
appreciate you.
do
So
this.
see,
Let's do it.
I got him to interview.
There you go. All right, so I'm gonna kick it. I'm gonna kick it over there. Patterson, you guys. I'm gonna kick it. We'll kick it over there to you guys.
Right. You think they'd rather hear them than us?
I think they'd rather hear them than us.
I think so too.
Could I tell a little story that Jimmy told me 100 times? Not 100 times, but Jimmy Johnson's the reason I'm in this town. Matter of fact, I haven't hit a lick since he passed without a Jimmy Johnson pick in my hand. But he told me when the Stones showed up here, he'd never had anybody turn the amps up to 10, you know. And it was so loud, it was pegging the board, and he thought he was sweating because the Stones engineer and producer didn't show up. And so he just started looking around the room for some way to get them on tape because it was redlining all the meters. And he found a box that somebody who'd been working here, Paul Kelly, had made a box that was a 40 dB cut, and he put it in the mic in front of Keith Richards' amp, and they were able to pull this song off. And Jimmy engineered Brown Sugar
You got to move and
and Wild Horses.
in 3 days.
And
Never cut anything that quick.
And was it, as I understand too, R.B. Greaves was in here during the day. He did Take a Letter, Maria, and then the Stones came in at night and did Brown Sugar. So how many studios can say they had two number ones come out of their studio from two different bands in the same day? I mean, that's just incredible.
And it's not like it's this great big room. It's not like you know it was like some other end of the complex.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
one out.
yeah. People come here and they expect to see like Abbey Road. You know, they're familiar
This is
with
about
the
the
music,
size of the Motown
and they
room. We all went to
they're
that
always
one day.
surprised.
Crazy. You guys ready? Gold Coast slave, she's bound for cotton fields. Sold in a market down in New Orleans. Got no slave, you know she's doing alright. You should have heard him just around midnight. A brown sugar, how come it tastes so good? A brown sugar. Shark's eating cold and his blood runs hot. Lady of a house don't know where it's gonna stop. Houseboy knows that she's doing alright. You should have heard him just around midnight. A brown sugar just like a young girl should. A brown sugar Spooner. Patterson. she's sweet 16. I'm no schoolboy, but I know what I like. You should have heard him just around midnight. A brown sugar, just like a young girl should, just like a brown sugar. How come it tastes so good? A brown sugar, tastes so good. I say yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo. I say yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo.
So y'all got one more you want to?
Wow.
Yeah. What about recorded right here in this room? Recorded right here in this room. This room that your money
That's
will
right.
help preserve.
Oh,
There you
man.
go. We're gonna sustain the sound.
That's
Sure.
just.
Do y'all want to do one more? I know we wasn't in the game plan.
Can we play Willy Bully?
Sure.
Dave said he'd sing it.
Hey, let me plug a couple things and then y'all do it. Okay, hey, the silent auction website, Muscle Shoals Sound, Facebook page. The silent auction goes until 1 o'clock tomorrow. So the silent auction is not about to end. It goes to 1 p.m. tomorrow. It's up for 24 hours.
Right.
Okay.
And we'll be checking our Facebook page, and we'll have some updates.
Absolutely.
On our totals. And thank you everybody for tuning in.
Oh, thank y'all.
you, Greg,
Oh, thank you.
for coming over
Oh.
and helping us out. It's good to have a celeb.
Well,
in the
I
house.
don't know.
to do
Not
this.
compared to these guys.
Thank you, Gina,
Thank you,
for
Gina.
letting us borrow Greg and for helping so much.
Absolutely.
And helping so much.
Thank you.
And thanks to our musicians.
All right.
Oh,
Are they?
okay.
All right.
Well, those should
That's
probably
good.
be on the mic. We've heard some great stories today.
All right. Okay. David's got more
David's
stories he's going to
a
tell.
story.
Okay. I just want to point out this is how we end up here till midnight, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, really.
We recorded a song that George Jackson and a couple other guys wrote. The guys from Memphis, and George gave them 1/3 each of the song to give him a ride from Memphis to Tennessee to here, because he couldn't drive. I mean, he really couldn't drive. Anyway, we cut the track, the basic track, at 104 East 2nd Street in Sheffield, which is where When a Man Loves a Woman was recorded, and many other things. At that time, it was Quinn Ivy's studio, but it later became our second studio, that place. So we cut the track down there and then came up here and was overdubbing on the track, finishing up, and a Oldsmobile or Pontiac or something drives up in the parking lot, and it was a man and a woman and their teenage son. The teenage son gets out, goes over to the back porch here, and sees Jimmy Johnson and says, how do you get to play on records around here? And Jimmy says, you got a guitar? He says, yeah. I said, go get it. He came in, went to the car, got his guitar. By the way, his mother and daddy sat out in the car the whole time with the motor running. But he came in and sat down, and he ended up playing on old-time rock and roll. His name is Howie Forrest McDonald. And at the time, we didn't know that it was going to be a big hit. In fact, Bob Seger didn't know it was going to be a hit at that time. But anyway, after we cut the track, we listened to it and we thought, well, George, being a black man, didn't really sound like a rock and roll singer for the type of song it was. So we got a guy named Dennis Gully to come in and sing on it. He was in a band called Jackson Highway. And when Jimmy and I heard the song with Dennis on it, we said, wow, Bob Seger. And so we sent it to Bob Seger, and Bob Seger tried to cut it with the Silver Bullet Band in Detroit. He couldn't cut it, couldn't beat it. He came down here and cut it with the rhythm section. We couldn't beat it, and so we ended up selling Bob Seger our track, our demo track, and that's what you hear on Old Time Rock and Roll. It was our demo with his voice on it. With that kid playing guitar, and a few other people too. It wasn't just Howie. And so that's the rest of the story.
Yeah. Well, what a great story. I mean, let's
Maybe
just
just A. Just take the old records off the shelf. As a matter of fact, one of the interesting things too, they took 2 takes of it, and it was really just going to be one piano intro. It was going to go da na 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 na. So when you listen to it on the radio, it doesn't seem like it's in time for the second one, and it's because it was a false take. And so it ended up staying on the record was the false take. So it's Randy McCormick doing that lick twice. I love stuff like
I love
that.
it. I love it. And that's
So-
one of the hooks. That's one of the many hooks.
Just take them old records off the shelf. I sit and listen to them by myself. Saying music ain't got the same soul. I like that old time of rock and roll. Don't try to take me to a disco. You'll never even get me out on the floor. 10 minutes I'll be late for the door. I like that old time of rock and roll. Say that old time of rock and roll. That kind of music just soothes my soul. I reminisce about the days of old with that old time of rock and roll. Take one, Spooner. Don't wanna listen to a tango. Rather hear some blues or funky old soul. Today's music ain't got the same soul. I like that old time of rock and roll. Call me a relic, call me what you will. Say I'm old-fashioned, say I'm over the hill. Today's music ain't got the same soul. I like that old time of rock and help me out here. Just play that old time of rock and roll. That kind of music just soothes my soul. I reminisce about the days of old with that old time of rock and roll. Kelvin Holly.
just had to do it, didn't you, Kelvin? Just had to do it. Well, before we close, my plan was not to release any numbers, but our executive director has given me my
Yeah?
marching orders.
What you got?
Well, right now we're up to 60 grand.
Are you
And that
serious?
doesn't include the silent auction and
Wait,
those
I'm sorry. 60 grand, and it does not include the silent auction.
True. Wow. So that's all because of you guys. And we will.
Wow.
We'll be updating those numbers, and thank y'all. That will go a long way.
So,
to help our
so
studio.
where will you, like on the Facebook page, update the numbers for people? who
And
see-
we'll keep updating that. We'll keep updating
60 grand without the silent auction yet.
that. Right.
That's, oh my
Life
gosh.
is good. It's been a good Saturday.
Thank
Let's do
y'all.
It again. Yeah, yes.
And
thank
thank
you
y'all.
very much, all you people who listened in and donated, and you can still donate.
That's right.
Oh, there's Bill Lyons. Come here, Bill. Come here.
Come on over.
We've been talking about.
Yeah, man, I got to play on your stuff. Yes, you did.
We've been talking about you all day, and you're.
Here you go, Bill. I'm going to hand you a
This is-
mic here.
this
Here
is
you go.
That's the famous Bill Lyons we've been talking about all day.
Hello. Hello.
Because now we can hug.
Yes, we can.
But
I brought my mask just in
Bill
just in
Lyons
case.
came in yesterday and took a platinum sponsorship, and
I
it's
did.
made all the difference. I
Well,
think that set the karma.
This
Right.
place, this place is awesome. You know, I was raised here and did not know all this music took place here until I was a grown man. Did not realize it was going on, and once I did, I just fell in love with the place. We've got to keep this place going.
You're right, and you're playing a big part in making that happen.
Well, we're all doing our best. Do we have a total?
Well, we're right now. We're up to 60.
Up to 60,000
Yeah. Yeah.
without the silent auction.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
life
if you're
is-
still out there, keep calling, keep doing what you can.
Yeah, and the donate button is still there, so please feel free to use it because
Yeah.
we really do want to preserve this piece of history.
We certainly do.
And it's not just history. We're recording things now, too.
It's a working studio.
Yeah, it's
Not only does it
relevant.
have all this karma, I mean, just coming in here, you just kind of feel the mojo, but it is a working studio, and we want to keep it that way. So
Yes.
do what you
Yes.
can to call in and
And
donate.
Bill is a songwriter and musician himself. You've worked with someone in this room, I believe.
I
writing
actually
songs.
did. I actually wrote a song for my wife
It
a
was-
couple of years ago.
was a good
and,
song,
And
too.
I actually got some help from a local songwriter named James LeBlanc, who many of you probably know is a very talented musician and songwriter. And the very talented Will McFarland was there in the studio that day and sort of took charge. And I just sort of sat in the back and watched the pros
How'd
work.
that feel?
Oh, it was incredible. Jimmy Nutt over at the Nutt House
Right.
is where we were, and so we were over there for probably, I don't know, 45 minutes. They had the track laid, and James put a great vocal on it, and I thought it turned out really well. It was a big hit with my wife. I can tell you that.
It was a big hit with me. I was like, you
Oh, you
played
heard it.
You played it at the Gold Record Room one night.
Well, James LeBlanc played it one night at the
Oh,
at the Gold
okay, that's
Record
right,
Room.
you were
Yeah,
there.
he did.
Yeah, it's
he
a
did.
beautiful
Yeah,
song.
James and Angela. So,
Yeah. So
very
tell us
talented
about
people.
your band.
My band. Well, my band is called the Hairy Knuckles, and so with a name like the Hairy Knuckles, you can't really be taken too seriously. And so we've played out in public a few times, but when you have a town like Muscle Shoals with this kind of talent in the community, and you're playing live, it's a little bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah, but
you know,
you
you
guys
look out there
sounded
and you see
great.
somebody like Will or Kelvin and those guys, and you think, oh, so you know.
Well, it was fun to watch you guys.
Well, it's fun to get together and play, and there's a lot of talent in this town.
Yeah.
So we play for fun and need to do it more often.
Yes, and we're going to get that Gold Record Room rocking again here.
First
2 or 3
Fridays is
weeks.
coming
Yeah,
up.
Yeah.
First Fridays is coming up.
Yeah.
First June.
First in June.
So we're
yeah.
starting back in June. We've got
Yeah.
a full slate of performers
Yes.
all the way through the end of the
Yes,
year.
lined up, ready
Okay,
to go.
the Shoals Gold Record Room is at 201 South Court Street. So first Fridays, there will be a good performance there, and so we want to encourage everybody to come by.
And I know some of you may have been disappointed today that John Paul White wasn't here because he wanted to help us with this. He actually is under the weather and couldn't make it today, but he sends his love. He encourages you to give. And so we're going to close a few minutes early because John Paul left a gaping hole in his. We love you, John Paul.
John Paul.
We
Yeah.
hope you feel better.
Wasn't
and
his performance with the symphony
Oh, my Lord.
incredible?
John Paul and that symphony together
It was amazing.
Nothing short of
At
amazing.
Norton Auditorium was last Friday night.
Yeah.
La-
No,
last-
well, I was actually there on Saturday.
Okay. Well, Friday and Saturday night,
Yeah.
John Paul White with the Shoals Symphony put on an incredible show, and just the genuine appreciation that he had for the audience and the energy that was in the
And
room
he
was
was
incredible.
very moved to be performing
He
with that
was.
symphony and having those
He was.
arrangements of his songs.
And he even said from the stage that, he said, a year off makes him even doubt himself as good as he is.
Right.
But he didn't miss a lick.
No, he was amazing
in perfect form.
per usual.
Perfect form.
So
perfect form.
that was an amazing performance, and he was so glad. It was his first time, to play live to an audience like that, and it was my
In over
first
a year.
concert since COVID,
Uh-huh.
and so felt pretty
And it
good
was,
in
and
me.
it was, I looked around and, people were wearing masks, but it was a pretty full house.
Yeah, it was
I
a
mean,
full house,
in Norton Auditorium.
and with social distancing, all the right things were in place.
We did the right things.
But and Daniel and that symphony, they do such an amazing job, and such
Well,
an important
this-
part of our community.
This is a music town, and the music and the Shoals Symphony add such a quality of life element to this area. Daniel Stevens does a phenomenal job with
He really
University of North
does.
Alabama, and that's for a town this size, it's incredible.
Well, it's
asset.
what a contribution to our culture.
It
you
is.
know, it was really,
It
really
is.
great. And
And there are a
you know-
couple of more performances still to be done.
Okay.
I think there are 2 more performances, if I'm not mistaken.
good, I'll be there
Yeah, we'll be.
because I love what they do. I
Mhm.
love what they do.
Well, we need to do something like this more often too.
Yes, I think we do because it's been a pretty good day.
Mhm.
Thank you again, Bill,
Well,
so much.
you're so welcome. We had some family activities today, but we've been watching it. Been watching it on my phone and on
Oh,
my
good.
iPad, and just kind of
So
watching.
you've been feeling the love.
I've been feeling it.
Good.
I've been enjoying the
Good.
music here, but
Well-
wanted to stop by and say hello.
Oh, we're so glad you did.
And thank you, Greg, for being here.
Thank you for what you did. I appreciate
so
it.
much.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you.
Love you, girl.
Love you. So that was the famous Bill Lyons.
Wrap us up, Judy.
Yeah,
We got
okay.
you right there.
All right, we're gonna wind this up, but we're not gonna wind up the giving, are we? The giving continues.
Not at all.
And again, the silent auction is available until 1 p.m. tomorrow. And thank you so much for helping us keep this dream alive. This is an important room, and we need to keep the good stuff happening in here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm glad he came by.